మానవ హక్కుల
Call is now
ఆలోచనను
recorded.
ఆలోచనను కొనసాగించగలిగినట్లు నీవు మాకు ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఈ అవకాశాన్ని బట్టి మీకు వందనాలు. ప్రతి వారము మా యొక్క అనుభవాలను ఒకరితో ఒకరు పంచుకోగలుగునట్లు, తద్వారా దేవుని యొక్క నడిపింపును గ్రహించగలిగినట్లు ఈ యొక్క ప్లాట్ఫామ్ను సిద్ధం చేసి నడిపిస్తున్నటువంటి నీ దీన దాసురాలను దాసులను నీ యొక్క పరిశుద్ధులందరినీ కూడా నీ కృపలో జ్ఞాపకం ఉంచుకొని దీవించమని యేసునామమున ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం తండ్రి.
Amen.
ఆమేన్.
Thank you, Pastor Garu. It was so wonderful. So, participants, you're all distinguished, and I have nothing to do, but in God's grace, we are all together. We are very, very far off, but still, as brothers and sisters, we are meeting. And I hope you all can hear me. Let me put my sound better. So, I'm sharing the small, only 4 slide show. So, this is our agenda discussion today: anti-Christian violence and human rights violations. We are free to express our opinions. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong at the same time. And I called Korivi Vinayak Garu and Medidi Garu and Vijay Razu Gaddapati Garu. Eventually, they will be joining, I believe. Yeah. Is there any interruption, Andy?
David Kadri and others have to be mute. We are unable to
Yeah, you have to keep mute yourself because I muted my husband's phone and I'm unable to unmute. So I regret that. So if I do that, sorry, if I mute that, you cannot be unmuted. So if you mute yourself, you can unmute. So that's the idandi. Yeah. So please do that, Andy. I appreciate that. So greetings to all of you participants. The Global Council on Indian Christian Concerns is delighted to invite you to a discussion on anti-Christian violence and human rights violations. Let's get started. The meeting is in session now. Unless you are speaking or would like to speak, please mute your audio. As I said, if as a host I do that, you cannot unmute yourself. So please cooperate. We are here to express our opinions, share ideas, listen to others, and petition the chairman or the president of AP Christian Council to the chief minister, sir, eventually. Civil, respectful, and courteous ways of expression are encouraged and appreciated. You can turn or turn off your video while talking or while speaking. That's up to you. The agenda of the session is as follows. We are flexible. Participants may show up or may not show up. So let us be more filling other shoes also because we are experts in other subjects also. Okay, so is it good? So if you like it, we can go ahead and put a like thumbnail or something so that you're all hearing me. So the agenda is like this. I'm done with my introduction and a statement of the problem will be read by Dr. Solomon Basimalla Garu. I can stop presenting now.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes,
Sir,
Anna.
you can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning and good evening to some of you in Western part. I'm Dr. Solomon Basimalla, joining from Hong Kong. First of all, let me congratulate and thank Dr. Santakumari Jetty for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and to contribute my part in this issue. I've been hearing the news of atrocities that have been taking place in India against Christians, and I've been praying to God for the restoration of peace and also for my role in this issue. We have now come up with a statement of the current issue or problem, anti-Christian violence, human rights violations. This requires timely action to improve the situation. Problem statements are important to define and understand the problem and develop possible solutions. The problem, as we all know, is the violences against Christians. Christians and now about 2.3% of the nation population, nonetheless constitute the third largest religious group in India after Hindus and Muslims. Though Christians, though characterized by Hindu nationalist leaders as an active faith and alien faith of the religion of India's colonial rulers, Christians took root in India almost 2,000 years ago when St. Thomas the Apostle evangelized in the south, home today to a majority of Indians, 23 million Christians. Until recently, Christians enjoyed a relatively peaceful existence with the majority Hindu neighbors. In the past several years, however, Christians have become the target of a campaign of violence and propaganda orchestrated by Hindu nationalist groups. Violence against Christians in India continues to grow, and in 2020, it reached the number 327 cases of violences against Christians, persons, and institutions. This is being stated by Evangelical Fellowship of India, EFI. So this is a big problem. As fellow Christians, we need to do something to control the situation. And my next speakers are going to explain the background of the problem, causes of the problem, current state of atrocities against Christians in India, government response to curb anti-Christian violence and persecutions, and social justice and physical violence, property vandalism, current state of Dalit Christians, social identity, and these are some of the things our next speakers are going to speak. To sum up, let me read out. Anti-Christian violence is religiously motivated acts against Christians in India. It is often due to the fear of a drop in the number of voters for the then emerging political party in India, the BJP, in the 1990s. Few politically backed organizations are behind the violence against Christians in India. When India became an independent nation in 1947, its founding fathers intentionally constructed it to be a secular society, acknowledging the profound diversity of religions that exists in the society. In such a context, Christians of India have existed peacefully with other religious communities. That is until the late 1970s, when peace was breached by a series of attacks against Christians. The latest example occurred in the summer of 2008 in the state of Orissa, in which persecution killed 157 Christians and injured 18,000, as well as causing widespread damage to properties, including the burning down of homes, schools, and churches. And these disturbing incidents raise a series of questions and concerns. Why have these acts of violence occurred against Indian Christians? Anti-Christian violence comprises violent acts that are committed by groups, individuals who use nationalist, religious, fundamentalist motivations or goals as a justification for their actions and represent a distinctive attitude of certainty as to the ultimate truth of one's religious beliefs. The Hindu nationalists see Christians as the carriers of a foreign, individualistic culture who seek to undermine Indian identity by converting non-believers into Christianity. Chad Bowman, the author of Anti-Christian Violence in India, noted that material and political interests would cause motivating violence and acts of force on the weak. A major driver of the violence is the scapegoating of Christian for globalization's effect on traditional values. For example, most Christian converts are Dalits who are looking for a way out of their disadvantaged status in the caste system. According to the Human Rights Watch report, Christian institutions and individuals who are singled out for violence in response to their efforts to promote education, good health, and financial independence among the members of the tribal and Dalit communities. The Human Rights Watch report also noted that a significant reason for the publication and circulation of anti-Christian propaganda and the acts of violence that it contributes to is a vested interest in keeping these communities in a state of economic dependence. In 2008, the National Commission for Minorities reported that the perpetrators got their support from the state governments, which were controlled by the Nationalist Party and its allies. Anti-Christian violence also intensified for a decade or so in various central Indian and South Indian states. Okay, once again, I thank Dr. Santakumar Jetty for giving this opportunity to participate in this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, so much, and you did a wonderful job. Now I'm turning to myself in dealing with the causes of the problem, okay? Causes of the problem for this anti-Christian violence. So I have a couple of points that I made myself, so I will discuss. I will not read through it, but I will discuss through it. So violence is that any physical violence or metaphorically as an intentional or malevolent wound to human being and also damage to the property where the place of worship or articles of worship are destroyed or defaced. So the causes, the first one I came to know research was intense nationalism. So religion is a central feature of human life. So everybody wants to play around it. But nationalism is evolving to be more powerful than religion itself. So the perpetrators forget the fact the multi-ethnic fabric of India, because it is like a quilt and it was stitched in a beautiful way. However, they wanted to make it as uniform as possible, and they try to forget their own philosophical ideas, I believe, because the very own fabric of they just don't want to. Luckily, they don't want to preserve. So, are the so-called Dalits, both Christian as well as non-Christian, should hang on to the dominant caste in terms of economic dependency and exploitation and be exploited for a proto-nationalist sentiment? So, think about that. That is intense nationalism issue that we are seeing here. Second factor is social fear. So, is there a fear of globalization? Is there a link between globalization and Christianity is viewed as a liberal religion that detaches Christians from its mother nation? It has never happened so. When our forefathers in 1850s they accepted Christ during the first CMS missionaries came to Tamil Nadu and coastal Andhra Pradesh. We were the same, our forefathers were the same, and we still are the same. We don't want to detach that a country itself was detached from our country 70 years ago. So we still want to be linked. But however, there is a paranoia among these people that if globalization and conversion are interlinked, how would you explain the mass conversions at the end of the 19th century? So my point here is that conversion has an aspect of liberation theology, not a liberal theology. We don't want to embrace liberal theology of Western societies. We want to embrace the liberation aspects because many of the Christians come from the Dalit backgrounds. So asking for constitutional rights is our right, not a privilege. So we should better seek it sooner or the later than the later. Next one is economic violence. Okay. If you have any question, you can raise your hand and I can clarify, or I can also learn from you or listen from you. Economic violence is persecution has economic roots. Okay. So Often the persecuted ones are poor, you know that, voiceless, and economically marginalized. Pope Francis once warned that until exclusion and inequality in society and between peoples are reversed, it will be impossible to eliminate violence. So we need to understand the how economic systems might be organized to promote or reduce violence. Okay, and then the number one I recognized was poverty, because poverty is the worst form of violence. You all might have your own experiences about that, because you're all high professionalists, and in your various walks of life you have seen how poverty can be hurtful to people. And second one is exclusion. Following an economy of exclusion, excluding Indian Christians from the, this is another aspect of violence I am talking about. I'm not trying to combine, but this is another aspect. So exclusion of the Indian Christians from the privileges is also making them economically remain wherever they are, and they have to compete with other general categories. Luckily, one in million can get it, and then yeah, so that's how where we are. And we have high professionals like John Samuel sir or Christus Gandhi sir and all other people who rose to the ranks of highest prominence, and we are very proud of them, and they are examples to our future folk as well. So third one is inequality in the distribution of resources. So we are seeing a lot of inequality, and by socially including and by making people participate in the society, this disadvantageousness can be reduced, and access to resources and giving voice and respect the rights of the people, because human rights are being violated here. The other one I noted was gender based vulnerability, because I was looking at many reports of molestation or crimes on women, nuns, and like you know, there are so many cases, that Kerala nuns case and Jabua nuns case and Kandamal nun gang rape case and all those things, and there are so many that are unaccounted for, especially on the married or unmarried and girls and marginalized populations. So this gender based violence on Christians should also stop as soon as possible. The other factor that I noted was political. For the past 25 years, the voice of religion can be heard in political discourses and calculations. When we were children around 80s, we did not have this kind of influence of religion on politics, if I remember very well, in my school days. But these days, since past 25 years, you know what I'm talking about, the Orissa cases and all those things. In order to, the fear of losing the vote base among the converts or the base caste is making atrocities more and more on these people. We are not hearing atrocities on forward caste. I'm not calling them upper caste, because I don't want to. I want to call them as forward caste only. Maybe I'm wrong, but you can correct me later. So efforts to become self-sufficient should not be curbed at any cost, as the Constitution guarantees freedom to pursue a livelihood. Everybody has a uh, right to pursue livelihood according to Article 15 of our Constitution. I surprisingly I came across a unjustified claim. Okay, I will read through it. How far are the Christians or the converts are associated with the powers of globalization? That's a question. Then, what are the levels of association of Indian CEOs and larger Indian tech forces in the MNCs? You know the names of Satya Nadella, or if you think about in that line, uh, in the MNC forces of globalization. Is that not affecting intense nationalism? All these Pepsi, Cola, or MasterCard, or Twitter, or Facebook, or YouTube, all these Indian CEOs, is there any Christian over there? You are seeing, right? And then why do they link up nationalism with globalization, conversion with globalization? So there is no, it is baseless. So my point of argument is that what is the justification here? What percentage of Christian employees are sent from India by the tech companies on work visas? Okay. Also, think about the level of growth in the casteism among the NRIs in Western countries. Note that there is a growth of caste-based organizations and party-based organizations in the United States, and I'm not sure about Australia and other European countries. Even though I lived in UK long ago, which was nearly 15 years ago. So, finally, to wrap up, dear professionals, I can conclude that Christians remained faithful in the past 150 years or past 70 years, okay? And they will still remain faithful. I mean to say that. And we will still remain faithful and follow our motherland customs. So we should have a secular nation. So this is our demand. It is not something we are not asking from nothing. So we should act in their own interest, whether convert or not, and no one has the power to influence it. We can follow our Christian faith. Anybody can follow any. But however, when it comes to opportunities, it should be equal by reducing the inequalities. So with that, I wrap up my causes of the thing. Thank you so much. Next, I hand over to Sri Sudhakar Neel Garu for discussing the background of the problem.
Brother Sudhakar to unmute his mic.
Oh, sorry. Greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to all of you. It's a very pleasant morning here in Hyderabad. And also it's a spiritual atmosphere that we are having, socio-spiritual, because we as liberation theologists or students of liberation theology believe in social spiritualism. That way, I am very, I consider myself fortunate to be in the company of these great people, accomplished personalities. I hope to learn. I'd like to share my views on this issue, that is background. It is always necessary to understand the background of a problem. If we forget the history of anything, then history will forget us. So this is how we realize the importance of background. We can go back to the earliest days of who we are and what our identity is. That is mostly known to all of us. So probably without dealing for long on that subject, but at the same time, slightly touching the subject, we can move on to the latest or the most modern developments that have made us what we are today, what our circumstances are today, and what the problem is today, how the circumstances are contributing to today's problems. That we can assess. So to start with, we can say that as Christians, we say in AD 52, Saint Thomas came to India. Maybe some say to Punjab, some say to Kerala, or some say from Punjab to Kerala, whatever it is. But there is a very living tradition in Kerala that is a very good proof for that he had come to Kerala. However, there is another argument that it may not be in the 1st century, it may be in the 3rd century, but that also is not a big matter for us. What is the point I am trying to stress is that we are a very, very old religion in this country. At least from 3rd century, even that is also a very, very long period. And since Christianity came so early in India, and still today, our identity is we are a minority. Our percentage in population is about around 2%. Even today, if our condition is like that, our percentage is so low, then what made us what made us to come to such a level? As we all know, in India, the caste is a very big issue. And caste is, as Hindus say, is coming out of Brahman. Those who came out of the head of Brahmins, and then Kshatriyas from shoulders, and Vaishyas from stomach, and all these things. We know Shudras, they came from the legs. Yes. Now, the situation here is there were people who were lesser than the Shudras, Ati Shudras. If you see all these people, four castes, they had something of the Brahman. Every human being, every caste had something of the Brahman. But this Panchama, this Chandala, this Panchama, and nothing of the of Brahman. That means he's not a human being. So the Panchamas are subhuman or animal level. That is the people who have converted mostly to Christianity. How though in 52 AD or in the first 2 centuries, 3rd century, Christianity came to Kerala, then how we find so many upper caste Keralites, mostly Syrian Christians or St. Thomas Christians, we say, they are all Christians. They're even politically dominant population there. But they have not spread the gospel to other communities. This is again because the fundamental problem of this country, that is the caste. They thought that this cannot go to lower caste people, so they did not evangelize. So with this, the lower caste people or even other caste people, they did not convert to Christianity. Those who converted in the first century or something like that, their families, they developed and they retained their identity. So with this, what has happened is only our population remained like that. Otherwise, by this time, from 50 to 80, we would not have remained a minority. So our background is today we are a minority. Now, second thing is mostly the Christian community in India is Dalit Christian. They are converted from Dalits. That is the Panchama community. This is all we know. But when Panchamas are there, then if we are not, if the Chaturvarna system is there, and then we are becoming fifth one, then we do not fit into Hindu community at all. So even Baba Sahib said, Ambedkar said that we are not Hindus, and our gods were also different. They were not Krishna, Rama, Venkateshwara. These are not the gods SCs used to worship till about a century or 2 centuries back. We had a different festivals, we have different gods, and all these things are there. Kanchaila, why I'm not a Hindu. In that book, he has very clearly dealt with this subject. So the point here is again, this people, they became alienated twice. Once because they were Panchamas, and second time because they became Christians. They were considered as aliens. So we became, after we came into another religion, they said it is a foreign religion, and then we have some, we don't have that Indianness. But we have remained in Indians. We have no extra territorial loyalties here. We have not divided the country, and all our missionaries have served the society. So it is a misconception. So all these things, when they were happening, we the Dalits at least have got some support from the reservation system, some support. But actually, the Pune Pact, whatever was there, if that was not there, had the communal award been implemented, even the Christian Dalit Christian situation also would have been much, much better, because so many Dalits would have elected their own representatives, and they would have got what laws they wanted implemented. Because that possibility is gone with only the reservation system and not communal representation, that electoral system has gone, and it's a very, very tragic occasion for all the Dalit community. So then came another occasion, that is when Rangnath Mishra Commission submitted its report in 2007. From 2007 onwards, the Buddhists, I think when Mr. V.P. Singh was the Prime Minister, they brought Buddhism also into this fold of SC. This all has happened because because of the Presidential Order number 19 of 1950, wherein first they said only Hindus, those Panchama community or untouchables from Hindu community, only they can be given SC category, and nobody else. So that's a very, very unconstitutional executive order. Actually, it is just an executive order flowing from that. But we know the Sardarji Sikh community, they immediately responded, and because of their protest and their agitation, they got it that even Sikhs also, the Panchama community from the Sikh, the untouchables from the Sikh community, they can become SC category. At the same time, afterwards, even Buddhists also they added. They say that Christianity is having more caste, so it cannot be given this. But in Sikhism also there is no caste. In Buddhism also no caste. All these things. I should not spend a lot of time on this. But it was an injustice done to us. And finally, when Rangnath Mishra Commission gave its report, they out and out rejected the Presidential Order number 19. They said it is unconstitutional. And then they have also provided some way of calculation. If you add Indian Christians, Dalit Christians also into SC category, then they will also they will give an arithmetic problem. Like existing people should be accommodated, and also additional people should be accommodated within the 15% that is given. So for that also they have given a solution in that commission, in the report. Nothing is being accepted by this present government especially. Even earlier governments also have not done anything. The Congress government also had prepared the draft in the cabinet, but they delayed it and finally said, oh, this session we don't have time to introduce this bill, and it has never seen the light of the day. After all this is over, now Supreme Court is now very active about the cases filed by Catholic Conference of Catholic Bishops Conference of India, and also other people. So many people have filed that case against that Presidential Order number 19. Now, why this is very important for us is Presidential Order number 19 excludes the Dalit Christians from SC category. We are not asking just for reservation. Reservation is, we are calling it actually reservation, it is not reservation. It is a constitutional safeguard against the atrocities, against the deprivation that will be given to us, we will be suffering, and the exploitation that we will be subjected to by the upper caste. If reservation is not there, even this many seats SCs would not have got. Because of reservation, with all backlog, they are getting a few seats. If this reservation is not there, then the problem is, our problem would have been much, much bigger. So what we are saying is, it is a constitutional safeguard. Now the Christians, the Indian Christians, are not being safeguarded. They are being exposed. And they are saying, once this reservation is given to us, they will get converted. This is very, very wrong. This is where our human rights are being attacked. There is a fundamental right for us to preach, propagate, and practice any religion we want. So we should not get converted to another religion, to remain in this religion, in Hindu religion only. They are not they don't want to give this reservation. That is the latest submission in Supreme Court by this present central government, when the Supreme Court asked them to submit your affidavit. So in the affidavit it is said that there will be mass conversion. Now, whatever it is, if we want to convert, we will convert. This is, if you are stopping it by your 1950 presidential order, then you are actually restricting or are not allowing us to have the right to religious freedom. So that is, yeah.
Could you please summarize, sir, so we are not
Yeah,
consuming?
maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes, I'll finish off.
Sure.
Okay. Acha, so all these things we are saying. Now our condition is, what is our background means, with all this, what we have become is, we have become people who don't have rights in our own land. We have no freedom to exercise the religious freedom, because once we exercise the religious freedom, we are losing our safeguard. That is one thing. Then we are divided. We are a divided community. Even within Andhra Pradesh also, we have Mala Maliga Christians. Now, if we want to say that in Kerala, upper caste Christians are there, here that is wrong. But first, we should see that even in the present church in Andhra Pradesh also, Mala Christians are different, Maliga Christians are different. They may meet, talk, all these things are there, but they don't get, when it comes to intermarriage, there is going to be problem. So we are a divided community. We are a what is it called? We don't have any safeguards. The third thing is we are a minority, and there is a government which believes in majoritarianism. So against that majoritarianism, we have to live. So as a minority, we have got this problem again. And finally, what I feel is, it is all these things combined together. We have a church failure also. Why the church cannot solve the problem of ABCD? Why can't we say, as Christians, why can't we say that we will solve as brothers? We can solve. Telugu Party introduced this ABCD, so that's the problem. Within the church, there is a teaching in our churches. Political is dirty. Politics is dirty. We belong to other world. Our kingdom is there. So, but they should know your kingdom come. We want the kingdom to be established here. So that is not happening, because there are some people who don't realize that days have changed, and they say that we don't want to participate in politics because they have seen only politics in India. Otherwise, in all the European countries, there will be Christians, and they will be, if they don't do politics, political activity, who else will do? And finally, these people, they don't realize that they are the rulers. We are the rulers. In democracy, people are the rulers. If we don't do politics, if we don't go into politics, if we don't exercise our right, then you are failing as a citizen, and you are not participating in the ruling that is given to you, in the political activity, the administration, all these things, governance, all these things. If you don't want to be there, then you are at fault. So the problem with our Christians is the church is also not encouraging. All this liberation theology is there in theological colleges, and when it comes to outside the church, they don't teach all these things. I'm sorry I have exceeded my time. I hope I have given the existing condition of the Christian community, and what has caused the background. Against this background, I think we have to see what to do. Thank you so much for this opportunity given. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How long it took, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we have some patience. Okay, so the next, thank you for everything for bringing that. And current state of atrocities against Christians in India by Sri Kurivi Vinay Kumar Garu, founder of Dalit Bahujan Front, if I am correct.
I'm audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
1 minute, sir. Please take between 4 to 5 minutes or 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not much. I'm happy to see all the people on the screen. I'm very thankful to Dr. Santkumar Garu. This is a good initiative. I'm appreciating the initiative to take forward the issue, pending issue of the long standing. This is the major issue of the perceptual level. The point is, the Indian church, earlier it is a missionary. Later, the church is becoming a more and more institutionalized on the basis of the denominations and caste based. The church role is regularly decreasing in the process of the addressing the social issues of the community. Earlier it is there. It is a comprehensive, church is earlier a comprehensive institution, but nowadays it becomes a more and more individualization taking place in the context of the globalization. So my understanding in my experience of the in the protecting the rights of the Dalit community, particularly scheduled caste origins, of the many of the people who are facing the real problem in the very nook and corner of the community country. These people have inaccess to the governance and inaccess to the support of the community support. Earlier, there is a consciousness, collective consciousness in the community, in the name of the Ambedkar ideology, in the name of the Christianity, in the name of the a community with the feeling of we. Now, now in the context, we are living in a context of the I. I means my personal life, my cell phone, my family, my room. In the context. In this context, the people are more suffering. The vulnerable communities who are living in the at the community level, grassroots level. So my understanding earlier, there if the issues happened, community mobilizing collectively, promoting the unity among the community, addressing the issue with a concern and solidarity. Now it is not like that. So the church role is also changed. The political parties role also changed. The social activism also changed. The governance system also changed. So in that particular context, now we are seeing the defending the human rights in the vulnerable communities, among the vulnerable communities. And now it is a big challenge for us to address this issue. We have a lot of acts, protective mechanisms, and also we have a enlightened community leaders and the political leaders and the administrators in that context. So we are not listening, we are not supporting, we are not associating with the victims. The victimization is taking place in this context. So the perpetrators are differently, they are organizing in a different mode. It is exactly the opposite mode. The majoritarianization, the politicalization, and they targeting the weaker sections in the name of the religion, in the name of the caste, in the name of the other exploitative systems of society. My understanding, the scheduled caste origin communities should rethink about themselves. As a community, we are victimized and also we are discriminated and divided by different aspects in the name of caste, subcaste, and the denominations and the occupations. We are multiple subdivision is there. Now we will rethink about the community to address all these issues as a collectively and politically. In my understanding, in the villages there is a dominant caste. There are a dominant caste, particular region, particular place. So we have a concept of the Christians are one among them. In the Christian community also, there are the dominant castes, there are the intermediate castes, there are the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes also there. They are not together as a community. They have a different identities. They are using the identities for in their personal and family issues and caste issues and the religious issues. But they are coming together as a community. Christians, they are claiming as a Christians, but they are practicing the Christianity. So my feeling is in the rural villages particularly, there is a caste customs are there. Caste customs are the actually the ruling class is using the caste the kula kattubatlu. We are calling in Telugu kula kattubatlu. Kula kattubatlu is nothing but the governing the Manu Dharma Shastra is operating in the name of the kula kattubatlu and they are using as a governing class. They are converting them as a governing class. There is a clash between the administrative class framework operating the addressing the atrocities in the to address the issues where there is a community. They're coming together as a community, as a dominant caste in the name of the caste. So the victimized community is becoming isolated and they are politically divided and religiously divided, caste-wise divided. So they are targeting the easy targets to the nowadays to the Hindu fundamentalism or the dominant caste hierarchy and the political hegemony in the society. So my understanding is it is happening not only in the Andhra Pradesh, it is happening entire the country. So you can see in Maharashtra, there is a torture, there is atrocity on the Dalit woman and mother and children are beaten by anything. So using the Ambedkar name as a bike, as a Ambedkar sticker Jai Bhim on the bike, they are beaten. So there are number of cases in the country, but the community is rising sometime not rising. So my understanding is we are divided in the name of the different differences, but we will come back to rethink in a politically, in a contextually. My understanding is to address the caste as a primary unit. Why the caste is becoming more and more violent? Because it is the actually the byproduct of the religion, the so-called dominant caste ideology. It is also imbibed in the Christianity, also in the imbibed in the so-called Ambedkarites also. So we will realize ourselves. We will realize this is the high time to realize ourselves as a human rights defenders. In the framework of human rights defenders, in the framework of the civil and political activism to promote, encourage in the community, we will rebuild the community, unifying to address these issues as a politically and socially and culturally together. We are Christians, we are Buddhists, we are Ambedkarites, we are Hindus, we have no problem. But we will come together as a community, scheduled caste origin. My point is, if you are thinking ourselves as because with that perspective, Baba Ambedkar made this constitution to protect the community. Scheduled caste origins are he fought with the Congress, he fought with the Gandhi, he fought with the Britishers as a scheduled caste is a separate identity. Separate identity. It is nowadays we are calling ourselves as Dalits. We are 25 crore people, 25 crore people. As a community, we can claim ourselves as a together, which is one strong political point. One strong political scheduled caste origin. Dalit is a community, not as a caste. So we will fight together as a community to address our issues, particularly the discrimination, atrocity, heinous crimes against our children, our women, our vulnerable communities. Most of our people are most sufferers, but the institutions, judiciary, administration, and prosecution, they are not properly acting because we are not as a political community. We are divided into separate communities, separate groups in the community. We are not responding to our others. So it is the urgency of to reunite in the not only in the locally, we will also unite, and globally as a voice of the community, we will raise our voice collectively to address all these issues as a defenders of the humanity, as a defenders of the human rights, as a defender of the true Indians, to imbibe the culture of the it is like we will call as a Vastu Kutumbam, we will call it. You is a globe, is a planet, is a family, like that. We have a culture of that identity in our communities. So we will raise our voice together as a community to address all these heinous crimes against the vulnerable communities like Dalits and the scheduled caste origin people. I will thank you again, once again, who are participating in this historical work seminar. Thank you, Santaji, and also our senior leaders who are participated in this process last 30-40 years. They have the rich experience. Yesterday, our assembly in Andhra Pradesh enacted and recommended the scheduled caste origin people to get the status of the scheduled caste, recommended to the parliament. This is very good move. I think it is a right time. We are moving together as a collective, globally and also locally together. I wish all the best to who are initiated this process. I will conclude myself with JP. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. And everybody can wave to Kurivi, sir, because we don't know him, but God has plans and to know and to have great intellectual in our midst. Thank you so much, sir. Before I give the mic to Dr. Christus Gandhi, Sister Sally, do you have a question? Your hand is raised since long time. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, if nothing is going on, the next participant would be Dr. Krishnadas Gandhi, IAS from Tamil Nadu. So he will suggest some action plan. The meeting is recording, so that will be recorded as well. So take some 3 to 4 minutes, sir. So because we have little discussion later also.
Thanks for calling me. I will dwell upon two aspects. The aspect of so-called violence on Christians in India in current times, and also on the Sandor or Dalit Christian issue. One, the violence, the anti-Christian violence is, we have to understand in the pragmatic perception what's actually happening. It's not as if the whole community is ganging against Christians in India. It doesn't happen that way. There have been some kind of hostile attitude shown against Christians, but that is confined to certain areas. Certain areas like the preachers going somewhere, evangelists, they getting cornered, or prayers being conducted in private houses being objected to. These are the kinds of things that have surfaced in recent times. But you don't have the situation of any regular church being under attack and all that. And this hostility is shown by select people and not the general masses as such. What deeper things that is happening is, number one, Christian institutions are gagged for funding. For example, Christian NGOs getting funds from abroad, they are getting gagged. Similarly, funding coming from Christian outfits abroad is also being controlled. That is, this is being done by the government as such, not by any people's organization or communal outfits. The communal outfits are only the RSS people here and there who these actions are test checks. How the community is responding to these acts and how the government should react to these acts. And that is how they have been carrying on these things for the last 2 years. If I have to dwell upon the situation in Tamil Nadu, as long as the ADMK was in rule here, the last about 10 years, and since they are in alliance with BJP, they were tolerating such of these things. But now the situation is quite different. I don't think the government is keeping mum over these issues. And if anything happens anywhere, the law comes in place. So this is at least the situation in Tamil Nadu. Maybe the situation is little different in places where BJP is rule, where the government, the attitude of the government may be under question. But in other places, broadly, the governments on these violent episodes will be coming in to check that. So this is the scenario that we have to keep in mind, and there should not be a heightened sense of fear or anxiety about anti-Christian violence in India as such. Number two, in Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu has a different scenario than the other states in the sense AC Christians, I call ACs as Sandros. I don't want to call them by other names, other epithets like underprivileged or minorities or Dalits or even downtrodden. So Sandros means nobility. The AC community consists of noble people. Therefore, let them call them Sandros. So these Sandro Christians, I am also averse to this terminology, converted Christian. I don't know why you people use the terminology converted Christian. Somebody in some faith is that's it. Somebody in the Hindu faith is a Hindu. Somebody in the Christian faith is a Hindu. And how did it originate into the religion is not a matter for discussion. We don't call anybody a converted Hindu. We don't call anybody a converted Muslim. We don't call anybody a separate Buddhist. I don't know why only Christians also. I also find them too fond of using this terminology. It's quite a dangerous thing also to use, because conversion as such has been made an illegal crime. We should know that. And the Constitution in India permits anybody to follow any faith, and that's all. And I could have been somebody else. I could have been a Hindu. I could have been a Muslim, somebody. But I have my right to come into some other religion, and I embrace Christianity. Once I embrace Christianity, I become a Christian. Full stop with that. And I should not be probed as to why I became a Christian, how I got converted. So my appeal to you people will be very cautious about using the term converted Christian as such. And wherever, of course, these terminologies are there in the government records. The so-called Sandor Christians or AC Christians or be termed as converted Christians only in the backward classes list. So in Tamil Nadu, these Sandor Christians are also accorded all the privileges that are enjoyed by the other scheduled castes as such, barring the reservation aspects. Only the application of rule or reservation is because it's a Government of India thing. Here, the Sandro Christians don't enjoy the rule of reservation, that's all. But they are treated on par with any other scheduled castes on matters of getting scholarship for that matter, or any economic benefit for that matter. So I hope Christians elsewhere in other states should be able to prevail upon their individual states to get this kind of a kind of a policy decision from the government. And if that is done, I think most of the things are over. This is the states will respond positively to minorities more than the union government or the government of India, especially the dispensation of the current party in government of India. So this is one thing. Then the next thing is about the Christian campaign on inclusion of Sandro Christians, that Gulf Christian into the SC list. I don't know why it is being hyped up so much. I don't think there is any benefit that will accrue on the SCs as such or the Christians as such by getting this done. It is not, of course, the SCs should be defined as one, irrespective of their religious faith, their belief in any faith. That should be brought in. But it is not on account of getting the reservation as such. If we are saying that as not being in the SC list, somebody doesn't enjoy a reservation, that is a misunderstanding, because SCs, after all, enjoy only 16% reservation at the All India level. They are in that bracket. But anybody else, including the Sandro Christians, Dalit Christians, are in a bigger reservation block. They are in the OBC block of about 30%. So you don't say that reservation is denied to Sandro Christians as such. So we don't fight for reservation as such. Why we want all SCs to be defined as one, as has been defined, as has been the scheduled tribes defined in the Constitution. Scheduled tribes are scheduled tribes irrespective of the faith they belong to. That is the definition in the schedule. Similarly, the scheduled caste should also be defined as one, irrespective of their religious faith. And this is the amendment that we have to fight for. If Christian outfits are wanting the SC Christians as such to be given the status of scheduled caste, this will be opposed forever. Whoever is the regime that is ruling, that comes into ruling. I don't think that a Congress or not only BJP, even a Congress will be averse to that, because parties are not made up of political people. They are again made up of communal people. Congress is no different from, will not be any different from BJP in this respect. So therefore, the effort should be to redefine the term scheduled caste in the Constitution as one which has no reference to any faith as such. If that is done, automatically all kinds of scheduled castes will come over to any faith which they prefer. And obviously, any other religion to Hinduism is a preferable lot for scheduled castes. Whether it is Buddhism, whether it is Sikhism, whether it is Islamism, whether it's Christianity, they would love to go over there instead of remaining in this subjail of Hinduism.
Sir,
So therefore, that
please summarize
that
and we
is
can.
that is the one. Yeah, I will finish with this. So that should be the direction that we have to adopt. But otherwise, we should carry more of inward kind of reforms within the Christian institution. That would the approach should be not to go to people to embrace Christianity with an appeal to embrace Christianity, rather than Christianity going to people saying that Christianity will embrace them. There is a lot of difference in that, and that should be the approach. If we adopt that, then I think the Christians in India will be as happy as you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, and I see a couple of people um, like raising hands. Dr. Prasad Sirivella, can you please say your words, please?
Uh, so good morning, everybody, and praise the Lord.
Right.
I really congratulate Dr. Santaji and her team for this effort to bringing very prominent people to put together and as a group and taking the issue forward. And I can see so many of my friends after a long time. Since I have other meetings to go, that's why I requested Santaji to give some time, and I'll very briefly I'll share my views, and you people has to excuse me to leave. What I found in these groups, there are the people put together have a lot of experience, and there is a lot of knowledge around in that group. There is we have a lot of intellectual and ideological clarity on this issue. I think I'm not getting into the ideological discourse on the Dalit Christian issue, because there is a lot of researches, and then enough understanding was there, and the people, there are various initiatives are taken up, and I can see All India Christian Federation also is here, one of the petitioner in the Supreme Court. But given all these things, and I want to throw some light based on very few little experience, my experience in the policy advocacy and also the mobilizing the community. One thing I want to say, my family told me that you are a Christian, but my village told me that you are a Dalit, you are a scheduled caste, you are a Madiga or Mala. And this is why I'm telling this contradiction is going on within our Christian community. The Christian community has to be not only telling, they have to recognize they are the Dalits. This is I think majority of my experience is also like that. The village says one and my family says one. This we have to be get a clarity and make our community to clear on this, because otherwise these are the issues, the political issues. It has to be the community involvement. Why I'm saying this community involvement? If you look at it, the various rights and the acts that we acquired is only because of the movements. Even recent, the amendments to the Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribes, Prevention of Atrocities Act, as well as even the NREGA, whatever the rights-based legislations that we got, only the result of the movement. Of course, it is the substantiated, supported by the legal interventions. I'm not saying that one. I'm not bringing that one is the major initiative, but the community mobilization and the community, the efforts are more gives the more result than the other efforts. So by saying this, couple of things that I want to bring it to this group. One side, of course, there are the groups is already involved in the legal battle. And already because of that, there is a commission. I don't believe in that, that the commission will give a clear, I don't have that kind of a trust, but we have to put our efforts, make use of all these things, one side. Another side, we have to focus on our congregations. The congregations level and the pastors level. And that means the community level, we have to focus more. Because our theology teaches one, our issues and problems is another type, and our approach is another level. I think we have to solve this contradiction. Their theology is different, it teaches, and our understanding on the issues are different, and our approach and response on those issues are different. I think we have to bring it, this group has to be look at it at a multi-pronged strategy that we have to look at it. And the community level and the churches, both the evangelical, that means institutional, non-institutional churches, that we have to get in. And the congregation level that we have to get in. And ensure and create an awareness among our people to respond on these issues. The politically, as Kuriyaku, lastly, I heard the last, the few minutes of Kuri Vinay Kumar. That means he said, we have to make our communities more political. Political in the sense need not to be a mainstream politics, but it's a politically speaking on these issues. So, and acting upon, responding upon. I think this is very, very important. That is, we are lacking, because I've been walked in the with the various churches and the church groups on the Dalit issues, may not be particularly on the Dalit Christian issues. I can see that was my experience with the community of the Christian community as such. That we need to, I think this group can effectively address this one, because very prominent people and the congregations also can respect these people's views and continuously doing this kind of a thing. And the community mobilization is not only the community mobilizing our groups, but also creating various, maybe for example, establishing our data on the even we change the religion, we are facing the caste-based discrimination. That to establish that data we need not only the research is not enough, but also various public hearings, testimonials. I think we need to bring it more. That public hearings and testimonials will create some kind of a vibration within the political circle in coming days. That is what we did even in the atrocities, when the Atrocities Act amendments also, that is more important. These testimonials and this public hearing kind of things, that has to be done even at the policy levels as well as at the congregations levels. I think we should have a dare enough to say within the congregation and confront the theology that is telling that is going beyond, not without accepting the social reality, that we have to confront, and we have to bring that kind of a thing into that. Another thing is that there was
Please summarize, sir.
there was the other issues. That one thing is, there is already the communal violence bill. When I was one of the drafting committee of the communal violence bill, along with the prominent the people as government of India, that bill was ready at that time. But that bill has to be, we have to advocate the anti-communal violence bill, which is not only on the Christians, but also in the that was pending in the Home Ministry after 2014, the election that was pending. That is also is not come up at that time because of lack of political mobilization and the lack of the community mobilization around. But we succeeded in the SCST Prevention of Atrocity Act, but I failed in the communal violence bill bringing that one. And that is the agenda also we need to look at it. And I want to make it very clear that we have to look at it. We should have one thing is the community mobilization and has to be focused on the congregations levels and the policy advocacy levels, and all these the government's doing, that we have to be careful and we have to take it forward, and whatever the opportunities are coming up, we have to make it useful. And coming day, I think, thank you so much. And coming days, I'll come with a clear cut some more ideas. Thank you, Dr. Santaj.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prasad sir, Dr. Prasad sir, and it was really valuable. But we are running out of time, so I hand over now to Mr. John Samuel sir. He is the former Chief Postmaster General of India. We are so privileged to have him here. Yes, sir. Please use 4 to 5 minutes time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shanta and other leaders. I do not want to deal much with the persecution and the social injustice, which have been well dealt with by other speakers. I'll only talk about what should be our response as Christians in the face of the current social injustice and other factors that are affecting us. Let me begin with a statement of Mr. William Wilberforce, who was a member of the parliament who was responsible for the abolition of slavery in UK. He says a private faith that does not act in the face of oppression is no faith at all. Let me repeat it. A private faith that does not act at the face of oppression is no faith at all. As God's called children, it's not because that we are affected by some social justice, but any social injustice, any social oppression, as Christians, we need to act in the face of oppression. Having said this, let me quote the Bible in Psalm 33:12. It says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." I would say that blessed is India, whose God is the Lord. That is the only reason we talk about this, not for any other reason. Not for the fact that Christians should increase in India. No, the nation or the state or the people or the families or individuals whose God is the Lord, they'll be blessed. That's the only reason we talk about these matters. Now, let me just bring you 3-4 specific things as to what we can do, as what is our response. Due to paucity of time, I'm not taking much time. Number one is, we have been meeting occasionally, from sporadic thing to a strategy. I would say that we should basically have a strategic group, a think tank, which should really, I think this group which has been started, I'm glad, but let's have a think tank as to what we need to do, because we need to be people of strategy, people of thinking. If you recall, Jesus Christ, when he sent the disciples, he said, "I am sending you like sheep among the wolves." And so what you need to do, yes, you will be sheep among the wolves. Therefore, be wise as serpents and be innocent as doves. Quite often we are definitely innocent as doves, but we are not wise as serpents. So what I am encouraging every leader who is participating here, I think we should focus upon strategic things as to how Christians can influence the nation, how we can build these nations, how we can be key people in different areas, in the political sector, in the civil services, in businesses, in science and technology, in education, many areas. Secondly, I would say that we have been working a lot on building our own churches. That's good. I'm glad. But I would say we should move from building our independent churches to building our communities, bring a network of all the Christian organizations together. I know some of you have been meeting here. Can we bring all the Christian organizations together? Because that's the only way. That kind of network can make a huge impact, bring unity, and that will bring a lot of synergy. The third, I would say, today we are all indifferent. I want you to move from being indifferent. Now, probably we are touching only one aspect, but from being indifferent, I want you to be engaged with the society. What is, how do we get engaged in the society? Not just by criticism, not just by talking alone. That will not help. Can we sit in the places along with the government? Can we sit with the chief minister? Can we sit with the governors? Can we sit with the members of the parliament? Can we sit with the prime minister and home minister? Some of you may be aware that we have been doing a lot of programs or meeting with the members of the parliament, meeting with the ministers and all. In fact, next Wednesday, we are having a meeting of all the parliamentarians in Delhi, Christian parliamentarians meeting together. Now, unless we start engaging ourselves with some of these people, when we say that we need to really respond to this problem as Christian organizations moving together, can we go and meet the governors? Absolutely possible. If you require help on those areas, whichever state that you want to go and meet the chief ministers and governors, we can definitely make arrangements. But as Christian leaders, we should get together. We have a Christian minister, Mr. John Barla. Thankfully, we have one minister who is from a Christian community. He's a Christian tribal, Mr. John Barla, Ministry of Minorities. Now, as Christian leaders, we need to go and meet with him, and through him, we can go and meet the home minister and present everything. So we need to get ourselves engaged. If we don't get involved in government, society will be driven by people with personal agenda. But if we get involved and engage in government, society will be filled by people with godly agenda. I would say that we can't influence from a place of isolation. Our influence comes from our engagement with the society. Finally, let me end with this statement. This is an Esther moment. Please understand. This is not just an age of persecution. Don't think that this is a time of, because Jesus Christ said there will be persecution. No doubt about it. But if you understand that this is an Esther moment, where there are many Hamans who are ready to pounce upon you, what should be your response? Don't be silent. As Esther said, go, gather the people, fast and pray. I will also go before the king. If I die, I die. This is the Esther moment. Don't be indifferent. Don't be silent. This is the time we need to gather together, gather all Christians across India, across the world, because this is the Esther moment. The community is in danger by a small group of people. Our response will be, can we gather together? Can we pray together? And third is, can we really engage with the government? Act like Esther. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So much wonderful, excellent, and motivating message you have given, and we shall take you forward, sir. I now hand over to Professor Rajamohan Rao Garu in discussing delay in applying constitutional provisions. Okay, briefly, sir. The time is getting.
Good morning to all of you. I am Professor Rajmohan Rao from University of Hyderabad, recently retired. I am really happy to have all of you to be here and to discuss these issues which we have been trying for so many years, but we are not able to find any solution because we are not able to come together. In fact, there are certain delays with regard to uh, implementation of some welfare programs for especially for these Dalit Christians. Here the main issue is I would like to bring to your notice that recently I attended one meeting. It was a Dalits meeting in Hyderabad. In that meeting, it was organized by BJP people, and I attended that meeting for some condolence meeting. In fact, then all the people they were talking about only against the Christians. They were telling first we have to oppose the Christians. These Dalit Christians, especially, they are against us. So we should fight against them. They were talking throughout the meeting. So that means here what I want to tell the point here is within the Dalit policy for Dalits are not possible. As Gandhi sir told very clearly, once we argue once we fight legally with regard on the condition of how the tribals are given the reservation without minding about their faith. Similar logic has to be applicable to the Christians so that automatically we can achieve all other things. That we have to follow. Then next one, as Dr. Sirvella Prasad also has rightly pointed out, we have to see the practicality of the problems and then we have to move further with systematic planning. That is one thing. And then as our Postmaster General, Sir John Sir has already told, first we have to bring all the Christian congregations together and bring some unity and motivate them and bringing to them together and involve them in the governance to lobbying with the political powers. Then certainly, though it is a small beginning, we will definitely achieve as like an estate movement. So uh, there were so many other political issues which we have not achieved because Ranganath Mishra Commission report was not implemented even by the Congress. As Gandhi sir has rightly pointed out, this Congress is not different from BJP because all the monkeys have the same mouths. They are against they want to satisfy a group of people in order to achieve the political advantages. So here, based on this meeting's agenda, this meeting's out discussions are very, very crucial, very, very important. Based upon these ideas, we also have to chalk out some workable plan in order to find out some solution to this problem permanently. I hope this we will definitely will achieve. And finally, I thank especially Dr. Santa Madam and Dr. Rakumati Nagesh Rao for initiating this meeting. And also I thank other members who spoke very well, of course. Uh, these are my views only because at this point we need not discuss more how to move about and all. Based upon the discussion further, we will try to find. And I request all the members, those who have attended, to attend continuously so that we can find out some solution. With this, I thank everybody for having me on this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That's so wonderful and brief of you and very valuable suggestions. Next, we're gonna hand over the agenda to Pastor Gaddapati Vijayaraj Garu, President of ASCF, to talk about on physical violence and property vandalism.
Unmute, sir. Unmute yourself.
ఈరోజు ఈ సమావేశానికి విచ్చేసినటువంటి పెద్దలందరికీ ప్రభు అయినటువంటి యేసుక్రీస్తు వారి నామములో శుభములు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ ఉన్నాను. అలాగే ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని నిర్వహిస్తున్నటువంటి సహోదరి శాంతకుమారి గారికి ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి అభివందనములు, అలాగే ఆకుమర్తి నాగేశ్వరరావు గారికి అభివందనములు. ఈ సమావేశంలో చాలా మంది పెద్దలు మాట్లాడారు. ముఖ్యంగా నాకు ఆత్మీయులు, నా ప్రియమైనటువంటి స్నేహితులు డాక్టర్ సిరివెల్ల ప్రసాద్ గారు, అలాగే అన్నగారు కొరి వినయ్ కుమార్ గారు, సో అందరికీ ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి వందనాలు. ఆల్ ఇండియా క్రిస్టియన్ ఫెడరేషన్ నుండి తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర శాఖ మాజీ అధ్యక్షులుగా ఉన్నటువంటి రెవరెండ్ డాక్టర్ డేవిడ్ కడారి గారు ఉన్నారు. అలాగే మాకు ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి అన్నగారు నీలయ్య గారు, ఇంకా చాలా మంది పెద్దలందరూ ఇక్కడ చేరి వచ్చినందుకు మీకు ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ ఉన్నాను. అయితే అనేకమైనటువంటి విషయాలు మాట్లాడారు, చాలా విషయాలు మాట్లాడారు. మంచి మంచి విషయాలన్నీ కూడా, అంటే ఈరోజు ఒక మంచి చర్చ జరగడం అనేటువంటిది అభినందనీయమైనటువంటిది. వివిధ అంశాల మీద చర్చ జరిపించారు. అయితే ముఖ్యంగా ఒక చిన్న మాట ఏంటంటే, ఆల్ ఇండియా క్రిస్టియన్ ఫెడరేషన్ గురించి ఒక మాట చెప్తాను. ఆల్ ఇండియా క్రిస్టియన్ ఫెడరేషన్ అనేటువంటిది 1996వ సంవత్సరం జూన్ 20న మేము ఏర్పాటు చేశాము. ఒకే ఒక సింగిల్ ఎజెండా. ఈ సింగిల్ ఎజెండా ఏంటంటే, దళిత క్రైస్తవులకు ఎస్సీ హోదా కల్పించాలనేటువంటి ఒక సింగిల్ ఎజెండా తోటి మేము ఆల్ ఇండియా క్రిస్టియన్ ఫెడరేషన్ ను స్థాపించి గడిచిన 26 సంవత్సరాలుగా దళిత క్రైస్తవుల ఎస్సీ హోదా కొరకు కృషి చేస్తూ ఉన్నాము. ఇదే అంశం పైన సుప్రీం కోర్టులో కూడా ఒక పిటిషన్ వేశాము. రిట్ పిటిషన్ సివిల్ నెంబర్ 579 ఆఫ్ 2009. సో ఇది ప్రస్తుతానికి చివరి దశలో ఉన్నది. అయితే కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వము కేజీ బాలకృష్ణ గారి కమిటీని ఒక దాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేశారు. అది కానీ లేకుండా ఉంటే ఫైనల్ జడ్జిమెంట్ రావాల్సినటువంటి టైం ఇది. సో అయినప్పటికీ మరి త్వరలోనే మనకు న్యాయం జరుగుతుందనేటువంటి విశ్వాసంతో మేము ముందుకు వెళ్తూ ఉన్నాము. ఈ దళిత క్రైస్తవుల అంశం కొరకు మీ అందరి ప్రార్థన సహకారం ఎంతో అవసరమై ఉంటుంది. అయితే ఈరోజు శాంతకుమారి గారు చెప్పినటువంటి అంశము, అంటే ఏదైతే క్రైస్తవుల మీద దాడులు, సంఘాలు, మందిరాలు, దేవాలయాలు కూల్చివేత అనే అంశం మీద మాట్లాడేదాని కొరకు చెప్పారు. అయితే పెద్దలందరికీ నా రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏంటంటే, ఇది చాలా పెద్ద అంశము. నా రిక్వెస్ట్ కేవలం ఇదే అంశం పైన మరొక రోజు మీరు 1 గంట 2 గంటలు చర్చ జరిపించుకుంటే, ఎందుకంటే మరి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్, తెలంగాణ, ముఖ్యంగా మన తెలుగు రాష్ట్రాల్లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, క్రైస్తవుల మీద ఏ విధమైనటువంటి హింస జరుగుతుంది ఏంటి అనేది మనము సంపూర్తిగా సవివరంగా చర్చించాలి అని మనం అనుకున్నప్పుడు తప్పనిసరిగా దీని మీద కాస్త సమయం తీసుకోవాల్సి వస్తుంది. కనుక మరి పెద్దలైనటువంటి వారు మరొకసారి ఈ అంశం పైన పెద్ద స్థాయిలో చర్చ పెట్టి చర్చిస్తే బాగుంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ప్రతిరోజు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్, తెలంగాణలో ఏదో ఒక మూల, ఏదో ఒక సంఘటన జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఈ ఆదివారం ప్రార్థన గడిచిపోయింది, మరొక ఆదివారం లోపు ఎదురు చూస్తున్నామంటే ఈ లోపు ఎన్నో జరుగుతూ ఉన్నాయి ఇలాంటి సంఘటనలు. సో ప్రతి చోట మీరు క్రైస్తవుల సమాధుల స్థలాలకు సంబంధించినటువంటి అంశం దగ్గర నుంచి మొదలుకొంటే సువార్త ప్రకటన వరకు, ప్రార్థనా మందిరాల వరకు ప్రతి అంశంలో కూడా దాడులు జరుగుతున్నాయి. గతంలో మరి ఎన్నడూ లేని విధంగా గృహ కూడికల్లో కూడా దాడులు జరుగుతున్నాయి. అంటే సొంతం ఎవరింట్లో వాళ్ళు ప్రార్థన చేసుకోవాలంటే కూడా సొంత గృహ కూడిక, తమ సొంత గృహము, వాళ్ళింట్లో వాళ్ళు ప్రార్థన చేసుకునే దాని కొరకు కూడా ఏమడుగుతున్నారు, మీకు పోలీస్ పర్మిషన్ ఉన్నదా, ఎవరో వచ్చి మోరల్ పోలీసింగ్, మీకు పోలీస్ పర్మిషన్ ఉందా అని అడుగుతున్నారు. అంటే ఇంట్లో ప్రార్థన చేసుకునే దాని కొరకు కూడా పోలీస్ పర్మిషన్లు కావాలి. మరి అలా ప్రార్థన చేసుకుంటే వాళ్ళే రివర్స్ లో పోలీస్ కేసులు పెట్టి వీళ్ళనే జైలు పాలు చేస్తున్నటువంటి పరిస్థితులు ఉన్నాయి. సో సమాధుల స్థలాల దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసరికి క్రైస్తవ సమాధుల స్థలాలను ఆక్రమించడం, వాళ్ళు సమాధులు చేసేటువంటి చోటకు వచ్చి కొన్ని విగ్రహాలు పెట్టి అక్కడ పూజలు చేసి దాన్ని ఆక్యుపై చేసేటువంటి క్రమం, ఇట్లాంటి ఎన్నో జరుగుతున్నాయి. కాబట్టి ఆ అంశాలన్నిటినీ కూడా వన్ బై వన్ మనం చర్చిస్తూ ఈ సమస్యకు పరిష్కారాలు కూడా మనం కనుగొనగలిగి ఈ సమస్యల కొరకు ప్రజలను ఎలా చైతన్యం చేయాలి అనేటువంటి అంశాలన్నీ కూడా మాట్లాడాలి అంటే దీని కొరకు మంచి సమయం తీసుకొని జాగ్రత్తగా మనం మాట్లాడి ఈ ప్రజలకు, మన సమాజానికి ఒక మంచి సందేశాన్ని అందించగలిగితే బాగుంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఒకవైపు దాడులు జరుగుతున్నవి అటువైపు, కానీ ఇటువైపు ఏ స్పందన లేదు. ఎందుకంటే మనం దాడుల గురించి ఒక్కటే చర్చిస్తే సరిపోదు. మన వైపు ఉన్నటువంటి బలం ఏంటి, బలహీనత ఏంటి, ఈ రెండును కూడా మనం చర్చించుకోవాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉన్నది. క్రైస్తవులు కూడా ఏదో వీధి సువార్త అని చెప్పేసి పోతా ఉంటారు. అనేక మంది మహిళలు పిల్లలను కూడా తీసుకొని పోతా ఉంటారు. ఎక్కడెక్కడో కరపత్రికలు పంచుతూ ఉంటారు. ఆ పంచే టైంలో సంథింగ్ ఎవరో ఒకరు వస్తారు, ఎవరో వీడియో తీస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఆ తీసే క్రమంలో వాళ్ళు మీకు పర్మిషన్ ఉందా, మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చారు, మీరు ఏంటి, ఇది అది అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళని ప్రశ్నిస్తుంటే అక్కడ నిలవబడి గట్టిగా వారికి సమాధానం చెప్పాల్సినటువంటి క్రైస్తవులు తలుపు దిక్కున పారిపోతూ ఉంటారు. పోలీసులు వచ్చి పట్టుకుంటే మమ్మల్ని క్షమించండి, మాది తప్పు అయిపోయింది, ఇంకోసారి ఇట్లాంటి పనులు మేము చేయం అని చెప్పేసి చెప్తా ఉంటారు. అంటే చూడండి మనలో ఉన్నటువంటి లోపాలు, సో బలహీనతలు, ఇవి కూడా మనం చర్చించాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉంది. కనుక ఈ అంశాలన్నిటి మీద మరి పెద్దలందరికీ నా రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏంటంటే, ఇది చాలా పెద్ద అంశం, చాలా ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి మాట్లాడే దాని కొరకు ఉన్నాం, కానీ మనకు సమయం చాలా తక్కువగా ఉన్నటువంటి కారణం చేత మరి వీలైతే మరొక రోజు ఈ సమావేశాన్ని, ఎందుకంటే ఇంతకు ముందు చెప్పారు శాంతకుమారి గారు, మరలా ఈ సమావేశాలు నిర్వహిస్తామని చెప్పేసి, కనుక ప్రత్యేకించి ఈ అంశాల కొరకే మనం ఆంధ్ర తెలంగాణ అంశాలను తీసుకొని పెద్ద స్థాయిలో ఈ అంశాలను చర్చించి దీని కొరకు 2 రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాలను మనం అప్రోచ్ అయ్యేలాగా, ఈ అంశాల మీద వారి దృష్టి తీసుకెళ్లేలాగా మనందరం కృషి చేసే దాని కొరకు కేవలం ఇదే ఎజెండా పెట్టుకొని ఇంకొక మీటింగ్ పెడితే బాగుంటుందని నేను తెలియజేసుకుంటూ మరి సమయాభావం వలన నేను సెలవు తీసుకుంటున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Definitely, brother. Thank you so much. And it was so encouraging and very much motivating. And we shall follow you. And you are always part of our core group.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we now hand over the floor to Professor Akumarthi Nageswarrao Garu to address on current state of Dalit Christians and social identity. What is their social identity? And I know that some questions are there, so we are waiting until Dr. Professor Akumarthi finish, and then we'll take some questions to your targeted persons.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Santa Jetty Garu, for giving me this opportunity to share some of the thoughts on current state of Dalits social identity. I did a very quick literature review on the topic given to me, and I'm happy to share those things in very quick manners, because due to paucity of time, I will stick to time. And recently there was a good paper by, it was written in 2011. There was a paper which was published by Raj Bharat Patta. Why I recommend and advise this paper? This paper covers entire issues related to the social identity of Dalit Christians in India. So Raj Bharat Patta strived and and presented those views in very academic manner. So the title of the paper was, it's with me, By Faith Christian, by Law Hindu, by experience outcast. So these three terms are very important to us to understand whole crux of the my views. The paper is it has also subtitle, that is multiple identities as an imposed marginality and as a space for resilience for Dalit Christians. Multiple identities are existed among Dalit Christians. One as their origin of family and caste group, and once they try to come out from the clutches of this Hinduism and its religious impositions on Dalits, again new identity has come. So after over a period of time, the Dalit Christians undergone under several scourges and yokes. So post 2014 elections and 2019 elections, the situation is further aggravated. Formation of government by BJP under the stewardship of Narendra Modi. The situation and the conditions of Dalit and the Dalit Christians' identity are undergone changes. Further marginalization processes were adopted to suppress and oppress the voice of these sections. Despite number of studies by number of academics, and commission reports and court cases, our demands and our genuine demands are cornered, and still forces are trying to suppress our voice. So let me briefly read about 2-3 sentences for our understanding about social identities after 2014 and 2019 elections. The multiple identities as laid in Dalit Christians, on the one hand, has pushed them to further marginality, and on the other hand, provided a space to express their resilience against all insensitivity to the struggles towards liberation. For Dalit Christians, the Hindu identity is not their performed religious identity. Their experience as outcasts as a continuing identity is a challenge for the church and society to overcome the marginality and strengthen the resilience of Dalit Christians. These multiple identities of Dalit Christians is a challenge for themselves, as they have to cope up with the kinds of marginality they undergo. And in this backdrop of church and the state being insensitivized to the struggles of Dalit Christians, these multiple identities needs to challenge the church and the Christian community in India to address and advocate for the justice of Dalit Christians. In lobbying for the SC status for Christians of Dalit origin in order to establish justice and equality. Dalit Christian struggle for justice is not just a Christian issue, nor just a Dalit issue, but a human rights issue and a constitutional issue in claiming their rights. So the title of today's seminar is, today's meeting is Violence, Atrocities Against Christians. As our elders and experts on this area expressed their views very constructive manner and very powerful manner, the growing violence and the growing number of atrocities against Christians and Dalits to be curbed by the concerted effort by global and local initiatives and organizations. So we need powerful voice to demand and to curb violence and violation of human rights of both Dalits and Dalit Christians, and to demand providing reservation for or any kind of affirmative action for these Dalit Christians. More and more representation should go from all circles to protect Dalits and Dalit Christians, because we have certain questions. Are Dalit Christians human beings? Are they citizen of this country or not? When they are human beings and citizen, do they have rights? Are they eligible to avail benefits or provided or that are available to the citizen of this country? So we need to think, despite our multiple identities, we should come together. No matter the Christian from Suhras, Chamars, Malas, Madigas, Paravans, or Parias, but we should come together. So collective action is required at this juncture. So thanks to the organizers, especially Dr. Shanta Jettigaru, for giving me this opportunity, and other panelists also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother, Professor Nageswara Rao garu. So our next agenda is almost finishing, but I want to share something to you for a minute. So take a look at this. Take a look at this, and your suggestions are welcome, but just have a glance at this, please. So the acts of violence are threefold: physical, psychological, and on possessions. So physical, like, on the worshippers or gospel preachers mostly, like in villages or in cities, mostly in villages. We may not rule out in cities though. And is it on new converts, or what is the scale of the loss? We are thinking about all these things. And psychologically, is it on the Dalits, both Christian as well as non-Christian, or only on the Dalit Christians, or on the economically weak from every aspect of the society? On possessions such as destruction of physical structures, means the churches, vandalism of Christian property, and burning of the churches. This is one of the graphic I wanted to share with you. So I can stop sharing, and then the floor is now open to all for a brief 5-minute discussion or suggestions, especially people who have questions like Sally, Miss Sally, and anybody who has questions. Just very briefly, because we are respecting others' time. We'll wrap by 12:35. Sorry, what time is that now in India? We'll wrap in 10 minutes time or 7 minutes time. Wrap up.
Thank you, Dr. Shanta. It was a wonderful gathering, the first time which I'm attending. I'm very glad that I heard from Dr. Krishnadas Gandhi and Dr. Samuel. It was a wonderful opportunity, and being the first timer, I can say that we can immediately demonstrate or boast of a digital presence, because I'm into the technology side. So I can help you in that. We can start off YouTube, or we can have purchase a cloud and then contribute, and then we can have demonstrate our digital presence. And I would say, rather than being a group of a few people, we can bring in so many. So representations from Kerala, northeastern regions. If you look at northeast, like most of them are Christians. And also we have to bring in NRIs. Okay, from Canada, we have a very great presence. From UK, we have good presence. And every country we should have, so that anything, for example, for my daughter is going to leave US for a short-term course of 1 month. I'm just finding out like if there's anyone who can help her out, though she's going to stay in the dorm, but still from here to there, like if we are going together, like it would be like too exorbitant for another person. So I'm going to send her along. So in that case, like we can all help each other out if we are going to have a greater presence. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Sudhakar Nilgaru, very briefly, Andy. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you, sister. It was very valuable. Sudhakar Garu, can you speak, Andy?
సుధాకర్ గారు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయాలి సుధాకర్ గారు.
Yeah. Now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. Then, I have, and some people have spoken very well. Among them, retired IAS officer Sri Gandhi Garu also. So many points are very good. But somewhere I heard, I could not make out exactly what is he trying to convey. So that's why I'm asking. For example, he says, why do you use the word converted Christian? Now, we have to use the word converted Christian because for BCC specification, that is the term. There is no other term. If you convert, that too, converted from SC for BCC. So that is the only thing. We have to use that word. Again, there was one, what was that? There's not much of the, I mean, like, there's no planned attack, or there is no widespread hatred towards Hindus. That's what, towards Christians, that is what he said. So, sir, my point is, before 8 years, what was the situation? What was the feeling the Hindus people had towards Christians? Is it there today? It is not there. Today, they think that they have to unite, all Hindus must unite. That consciousness, that is excess nationalism or whatever you call, that is that deliberately promoting that idea that they are all one. Because once they criticize or beat Dalit, minority, then all majority will say it is right. These are the fellows who don't belong here. That type of deliberately, that's why I'm saying. Because this is the time, this is RSS is behind. RSS, what RSS does, it does very, very silently, whatever it has to do. It has spread over all the places. They are doing a lot of work. And they say in Panchajanya, they say our first enemy of what is that? Communist, second enemy Muslim, third enemy Christian. There is a chapter written like that in Panchajanya, bunch of thoughts by Guru Golwalkar. This is all their idea. This is a fascist government. It will slowly, it will become a threat to nationhood. They wanted theocracy. And here, theocracy involves attack the Dalit. We are all Dalits. 90% of the Christians are Dalits here. So this is something to be taken up seriously. That is what I would like to. I urge upon you to, take these things seriously, because we are not doing anything against them, but they have a plan. In Kerala again, in Kerala, one last one. In Kerala recently, one bishop has said one MP will come from Kerala from BJP MP. That is what he's almost promising BJP or something like that. It is there, there's some understanding. And when these people, they had a talk, this Kerala, again this Syrian Christians only, so they top people, they had a talk with Amit Shah. Third thing, the RSS has recently said that they would go to every house and they will convince all Christian houses. They will go and meet and they want to convince. So in Kerala, it is a place where nothing was there. And 10 years back, it was simply no religious problem there at all. It is there now. The fundamental point is they want to rule this country by talking about Hindu Rashtra, by evoking religious emotion.
Yes.
Once they want to do it, then you and I are out. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks
Yes,
for the
thank you,
time
sir.
given.
I would like to acknowledge three people here. Neelaya Jyoti Garu, he was very passionate about this cause. David Kadari Garu and Sanjay Bhattacharya, Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya. So, can you please briefly talk for a moment of your thoughts? And next time I will include you as the speakers, but this time please excuse me. And Neelaya Jyoti Garu, could you please proceed now?
Good morning to you all, and good evening to you, Dr. Shanta. And nice to see many of my friends here on the screen. Several, I can't name the people because so many people are my friends. And nice to listen to Dr. Prasad, Dr. Vinay, Dr. Vinay Kumar Parvi, and Vijay Gaddapati. So nice to listen to. Some of the other senior people also I have happened to listen right from the beginning. I was there, but I was running around here and there, but still I can't. The point that I wanted to discuss is, I think people have discussed several issues, but I think the other point that is, I think basically we are talking about, one is our share as Dalit Christians in, I don't call it as reservation, but as status. That's one important thing that AICC is doing it under Vijay's leadership. The second part, very important point, is anti-conversion laws and its related atrocities on Dalit Christians. These two things I think we need to focus in the later stage. As mentioned earlier, I think it is important that we focus on some of those areas. You have very categorically put what are the areas of anti-Christian activities that are in one of your presentations. You have put it in a table or in a flow chart. I think let us address that as an important area next time. Focus on that only. I think as Dr. Prasad and Mr. Vinay said, I think there are enough concepts, understandings, value systems and all those things. I think now we have to really focus on the action. And one action that I suggest is, what is that we are going to do as far as writ petition is concerned, which our friend is, our friend Vijay is doing. The second one is on the anti-conversion laws and our action to mitigate the issues that are coming on the Dalit Christians. These two things I wanted to propose for next meeting, Dr. Shanta. Thank you so much, and I congratulate you for bringing several people onto the one platform. I once again appreciate your good initiative. Thank you.
That's by sheer luck, sir. I am not at all aware of all your good work, but I'm so happy that I come across. So I can also discuss about how I came to this ministry. I will let you know later, but not right now. So we will hand over to Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya. He was with us since the beginning of the group starting. So I would love to hand over the time, a few brief minutes, and next time you will be enlisted as one of the speakers, sir. Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya, can you unmute yourself? You are in the call.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. That was really a very good initiative that we have started so far. And we talked a lot of things regarding the strategy that we should have in place. We should incorporate the people who are very influential Christians and India. They can also be the part of this forum. And there should be good legal professionals also who can give the legal perspective to bring about a impact or transformation in the existing system that is happening over here. And next time, I would like to I would like to talk more on the role of a Christian in this current scenario. Thank you so much for keeping me a part of this forum. I assure that I'll be a good contributor to this forum. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would love to Dr. Rajkumari to address a little bit of the congregation, please. Followed by Dr. Para. Rajkumari ma'am, can you please unmute yourself if you are in the call? Okay, sir, you can proceed, sir. Dr. Para.
Dr. Para, your voice is not. We can't hear you, Dr. Para. No.
All right. While he is trying, I would ask Pastor David Kadari Garu to address us for a few moments, please. Next time, I will make you as one of the speaker also. Unmute yourself, sir.
Hello? From my hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Madam,
Sir, we can hear you. Go
madam,
ahead, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, madam. See, madam, 20.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
They have never put to this great works of honor. They never celebrate who are the Christians of century and what they have done to our country. They never remember, they never celebrate their birthdays, they never celebrate their anniversaries. So what they have done, Christianity have done to this country, people are away from them. The non-Christian should be given what the Christian missionaries. Second thing I want to refer to is the church in India has absolutely failed. Just they are reading some Bible verse and telling, doing some devotion on that. Then politics. When you don't have any participation in politics, how can you have a right to question the authority power? You have no participation in politics, and you have no right to question the authorities in power. So that is one of the things. One thing is, already our brothers have had one BJP MP
has testified that no forceful person in the country has happened so far. He belongs to BJP party from Kerala. So, my point of the view of this thing, our churches should get reformed. And one more thing, madam, Sister Shanta, I will bring to your notice.
Yes, sir.
One
Yes.
rape case happened in Andhra Pradesh. She is Christian. No bishop, no cardinal, no archbishops, no pastor have gone to see that girl. See, what are we really preaching the word of God? Are we really Christians, madam?
You're right.
See, today, what made sister?
I'm
So,
hearing, sir. I'm hearing your perspective. Yes, sir. I'm very
people
sympathetic
like
about
you
that.
should have come out
Yes, sir.
2 decades or 3 decades back one, but no pastor, no bishop, no bishop, no cardinals are there in India. They never represent any issue that coming across the Christians in India.
Yes.
What I want to say, Sister Shanta, you kindly organize one more this thing, bringing all people are, if possible, you take all continents, if possible, or
Okay, sir.
at least India, total 20 states like that.
Yeah,
This will
some
be
are
a
not really, sorry to interrupt. Some are not really
your
accountable
efforts,
to what we do. So we cannot
Shanta.
control them, sir. We can only
Sir,
ask them. We cannot force them to be part
this
of this
is a
meeting.
booster. What you are doing is a booster for our Christians.
Yes,
We are
sir. Yeah.
very,
I'm happy.
100%. We are very, 100%. See, our brothers have told all the history and all those things. That has happened. That has got no relevance to this present age. We have
Right.
to fight against the social evils. So educate Christians. The church has the responsibility to educate, to fight against the social evils.
Right.
See, some Christians are referred to the name of William Carey, who was a missionary to India.
Right,
So
sir.
that you bring out in the near future, madam. This is a request and thank you, madam.
Sure, sir. We will get into dialogue of what is a requirement, and definitely we will bring on the table and next agenda while we formulate. Then it will be very helpful, sir. So let us end the program. Concluding remarks is that several of you have expressed several valuable opinions. So I will compile all these and make it into a memorandum. I also made a memorandum template to be presented to the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. And people are there are doing good work according to reports yesterday. But we have to do our own part. Then only this movement can be strengthened. And if not now, a few years later at least, the fruits of the labor can be seen. So that's what I believe. And I am honestly to be with you. I'm reaching you guys on my own. I don't have any lead. I don't have any. People are using our organization to further their interest. I have been seeing that. But we are very liberal in that perspective, and let them prosper at our behest. No, prosper in the sense like reach out to people, make their own groups and all. That's fine, but I believe in my micro efforts, and you're all with me, and that's all I want. So with this, I would appreciate everyone, including Mr. Timothy Jetty, my husband, who is the co-host here, and then he could not speak today because he's not like coughing is coming a bit little badly, so he could not speak. But however, all of you really appreciate, and Vinay Kumar sir, and you are very new to me, but still the cooperation you gave, and also Vijay sir, and Rajmohan sir, and Akumarthi sir, and Neela Jyoti sir, and everybody, all of you are wonderful. And with that, we conclude that and we can end the meeting. So if there is anything unfinished business, we will adjourn to next month. Okay. So thank you so much and have a good day, sir. Bye-bye.
Oh, congrats, madam. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a nice weekend, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Nisudhak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
So thanks everybody. Thanks for your cooperation. Thanks for your guidance. Thank you so much.